Good morning and welcome to the Core Connection. I'm Mira Rubin here with you on Enlightened World Network. And today's topic is leaning into the pain. Pain is something that we so often try to avoid at all costs, but it can be a profound teacher. And so we're going to talk about some dynamics around pain this morning. But before we get started, let's take a minute to get present. Let's take a deep breath in through your nose and hold it. And imagine clean, crisp oxygen flooding into your lungs, flowing into your bloodstream, nourishing all your cells, all your organs, bringing vital life energy to your body and being. And as you exhale any tension, stress, negativity, fatigue. And now let's take another deep breath in through your nose and hold it. And this time, imagine brilliant, bright light lighting you up from the inside out, illuminating, electrifying, and energizing all your cells, your molecules, your electrons, and lighting you up from the inside out with this brilliant beam of light going out from your heart into the world. And as you exhale any remaining tension, stress, negativity, fatigue. And now let's just gently press our palms together and very, very softly rub your fingers against your palms to feel the deliciousness of that sensation and allow yourselves to become present right here, right now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So we're going to start off the week by talking about pain and how most often we engineer our lives and our behaviors to avoid pain at all costs. And the interesting thing is that pain is a communication. It's really a way for our bodies and our being to communicate to ourselves. And if we are able to receive that pain or experience that pain or put that pain in a perspective of a communication, then it transforms our relationship with it. And here's just a wonderful example. I have a client who, we often, just as people, experience physical aches and pains and shoulder pain, hip pain, all different kinds of pains. And this pain, rather than something to get rid of, rather than interacting with it as something to get rid of, what would happen if we interact with it as a communication? And in fact, this client had gone, I don't know if they'd gone to physical therapy, but had all kinds of work done to address this, had taken medication to alleviate the pain. And in the context of a session, what we discovered was that the pain, the message of the pain was that the person wasn't feeling and had cut themselves off from emotion because they were afraid of the emotional pain. So what happened was their body gave them physical pain. And when we recognized that and worked with that, then the physical pain released, and there developed an agreement with the client and their body to utilize that physical sensation as a reminder that they weren't feeling, that they weren't connected to their heart, that they were disconnected from the environment. So it was like, okay, you're afraid of feeling pain. Well, I'm going to have you feel pain until you're willing to feel. It was just brilliant on their part of their bodies. They had a bit of a challenge believing that the body had that kind of intelligence. But I had another client who had a chronic pain in their back that would arise whenever they needed to be aware that they were falling into conversations with what I call the bully, the part of us that goes, nah, 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 and tells us how we're not doing things right, or life isn't enough, or the chronic conversations that sort of are a default to bring us back into past kinds of patterns. And every time this person would be falling into those patterns, they would have this experience in their back. And so it became a communication, it became an alert to pay attention, so our bodies have tremendous intelligence, and we often treat them as if they are a burden rather than a blessing, and as something that we suffer with. We suffer with the pain, we suffer with the inconveniences, the pain and discomfort, right? And we rarely appreciate the deliciousness of our bodies and all the experience and senses that we get to enjoy through our bodies. Every part of life that we experience because we have this physical form, and we don't often allow for the appreciation of that physical form, and there's so much more available to us if we were to. So I just want to let you know that if you have been making comments and I'm not seeing your comments, that's why I'm not responding. So it looks like we are on Facebook. So and it seems that it's not reaching anybody. I don't know how Facebook's algorithm works. It's bizarre, because sometimes we reach a bunch of people and sometimes we don't reach anybody, and I don't understand why that occurs. But in any case, we're talking about leaning into the pain. And I think the inspiration for this topic is really one client in particular has been going through some tremendous emotional upheaval and pain. And rather than trying to avoid it, this person has been really leaning into it. There you are. Elaine, thank you so much for chiming in. Elaine wrote, "You are life," and I think that was a typo, but for "you are live," but I like "you are life," and we are all life. And Elaine, I know that that's pretty close to your message as well, is we are life, and we are life happening through us. And so leaning into the pain as a gift, as a teacher, there's so much that we can learn. And so this one client who I admire so much for her courage is going through the fire in such a profound way, where all of her insecurities and her traumas are being re-stimulated, and she just courageously leans in deeper and deeper, and as a result is experiencing such profound transformation. And it's been really rocky. It's not been in any way a linear path. It's been, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. just all over the place with lots of emotion and upheaval and not knowing, embracing, like a lot of us have tremendous fear of the unknown, and we avoid that as well, as much as any kind of good morning, Tori, welcome. And I didn't say a proper welcome to you, Elaine. I apologize for that. Elaine says, when emotional pain or any type of pain shows up in our lives, it lets us know that we're getting close to a magnificent self-discovery. And at least it lets us know that there's an opportunity for that magnificent self-discovery, right? If we avoid the pain, we try to bury the pain. Good morning, Dennis. So good to have you here with us this morning. If we try to avoid the pain, deny the pain, eliminate the pain, rather than explore the pain as a source of a rich source of information and discovery. Good morning, Josie. Welcome. Then we lose the opportunity that it's presenting to us. There is such I want to say revelation available to us if we have the courage and the willingness to dig in, and explore. And so with physical pain, good morning, Lisa. So good to have you joining us this morning. If we inquire of the pain, if we ask, is there a message in this? What is there for me to know? What is there for me to see? What is there for me to discover out of this experience of something that we are calling pain? The other thing that I notice for people when they allow themselves to experience the sensation of pain, that, and the thing is that these are sensations that we're labeling pain, we're contextualizing as pain. And if we release ourselves from the stories and judgments around a specific sensation, like this is pain, this is bad, it hurts, I just want it to stop. If instead we can allow ourselves to stop the resistance toward of that experience and allow ourselves to experience it, my awareness is, in my observation, is that experience shifts, that sensation shifts, it dissipates, and there's something that is almost exquisite about sensation when we're enabling ourselves to experience it as such without the judgment and story. Even if it is pain, there's like some, we're calling it pain, but there's a fine line between pain and pleasure, and that may seem really bizarre, but when we allow ourselves the experience of something to sink into it and to feel how it's overtaking us in a certain way, there's something super powerful about it. So Elaine says, we can avoid the pain if we choose to. No worries, it'll return to try again. And we have many opportunities to wake up and remember the one true self. Yes, indeed, Elaine, it's true that if we avoid the pain, it comes back. And the thing is, this is something that I've seen so often, with people who avoid their emotional pain, avoid the anger, avoid the hurt, and they keep avoiding it. And what happens is ultimately that it shows up in the body. It shows up in the body first as discomfort and then potentially as dis-ease. And we have the opportunity to be addressing the pain as it arises. And in so doing, shifting the whole trajectory, right? and getting the lesson. I mean, just this example of this one client who the pain in their shoulder was that they weren't feeling. They weren't emotionally feeling. They were disconnected. They were avoiding emotional experience because of fear of the pain of it. And ironically, their body produced the experience of pain to wake them up to experiencing on an emotional level. So our bodies, I said something to them about the intelligence of the body, and they said, well, I don't know how intelligent the body is, but, and it's very interesting because the body is not something separate from ourselves, right? Our body is a further expression of our being. So it makes sense that our bodies would manifest certain things physically as an outgrowth of the rest of our beingness. And so, we talk about, for example, we talk about anger. And anger is one of these things that's corrosive. It's like it eats away at us. And not surprisingly, so many people, well, I'm going to say that so many people in general have anger issues. But in my experience working with people who have cancer, is that there is deep and unresolved anger. And I'm not saying that clearing your anger issues is necessarily going to clear cancer, but that's not, by the way, it's not a condemnation of anybody, because we are not taught how to process our anger. And again, those feelings of anger and rage are frightening to so many people. And let's see, Lisa said, I slept all weekend. I could not wake up. Tommy thought I was getting sick, but I think it's the stress from what's going on with my daughter. I should be heading to Georgia, but I'm not. She won't even speak to me. So my body shut down. Well, Lisa, when we're stressed, our immune systems are compromised by that stress. So it's awesome that you slept all weekend. I would encourage you to get a COVID test, because exhaustion is certainly one symptom. And I know, so here's the thing. I know that what's going on with your daughter is just absolutely heartbreaking, and my heart is with you. And the stress of it, and you probably don't want to hear me say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. The stress of it is due to what you're doing in your own head about it. It's not like stress is out there. Stress is something that we create internally by the stories that we tell ourselves, by the thoughts that we think. And I know, so you said you should be heading to Georgia. I'm guessing you should be heading to Georgia to see your daughter. And one of the things that can be so horribly destructive to us is this notion of shoulds. And I know that life isn't always the way we want it to be. And we think that things should be different from the way they are. And the more we think that things should be different from the way they are, the more we resist the way that things are, the more stress we create for ourselves. And I know Lisa says, it's my grandson who's losing. I promised him I'd be there. I'm so sorry for the promise that it sounds like you're not able to keep, Lisa. I don't know if there's a way to communicate to your grandson outside of your daughter. I don't know if there's a way to communicate that you really wanted to be there. I don't know if you had the opportunity to go, even though your daughter wasn't talking to you, if you had the opportunity to be with your grandson. It sounds like they're very, very complex family dynamics. And like I said, I've lived through some very difficult family dynamics, and I'm so sorry for the pain that you're experiencing. I think I remember it being you who said you're only as happy as your saddest child. I'm not sure if that was you, Lisa, or if it was maybe Bernadette. I'm not certain. Anyway, this is that kind of thinking. It's not accurate. It's not it's okay. So it was you, Lisa. So one of the things that we discussed is to be able to shift those dynamics. Your happiness is your happiness, and you get to determine you get to determine what that looks like for you. And I know that you don't want to choose to, I mean, if you have your choice, I'm clear that your choice is not to not have your daughter and your grandson in your life. And I know the heartbreak of that kind of separation. And it's not something that is ever present unless we bring it present over and over and over and over again. Lisa says, that's why I made my own plans. I'm going to Las Vegas. Well, good. So allow yourself to go find a way inside of you to be able to enjoy what you're present to in that moment. You know, I have been through times in my life where I carried my sorrow with me in every moment. It certainly seemed like every moment. And it took a lot of energy. And it takes a lot of energy to be depressed and to be sad and to be focused on things that are heartbreaking. And I just encourage you to find, I don't know, for me, one thing that has helped is to connect to the universe, you know, that life is happening for me. And it's all, even if I don't understand it, it's all unfolding in its perfection. And I know how horribly difficult it must be to begin to imagine that that's the case given your circumstances. But I invite you to find a place to move into that allows you to do that. Good morning, Renee. Welcome. It's great to have you here with us. Elaine says, the body is used for the formless you to experience life in form. Exactly. Well said, Elaine. The body is created by infinite intelligence and holds infinite intelligence and knows how to process all information when we remember that all is energy and can be used in the moment if needed or felt, and let go of it. It's a beautiful, intelligent experience when we go within and trust our own process. Thank you, Elaine. Really, really beautifully said. And so going back to you, Lisa, this is what I was talking about with my client who's going deeper and deeper into the experience of the pain that she's experiencing right now in relationships in her life right now. And the context of relationships and how it's triggering her feelings of, you know, from traumatic experiences, prior traumatic experiences. And so there may be issues of abandonment or rejection that are old wounds that maybe this can encourage you to work on for healing. And Elaine says to Lisa, Lisa, congratulations on choosing to do something different and break the cycle by finding the joy in your own life. Much love, beautiful one. Yes, and I agree. Congratulations on choosing something that's life affirming for you, Lisa. I'm just hoping that you won't carry the sadness with you, you know, and when it's there, if you let it, if you move it through, if you're present to it and allow that feeling, it will dissipate. And you know, these things come in waves, and sometimes the waves are fast and furious, but we get to learn how to body surf is all I can say. And I'm glad that you're going to Vegas, and um, I hope that in your choosing something to break the cycle, that you're providing freedom for yourself in your heart and your soul. Good morning, Rosalind. Rosalind says, good morning, core connectors. Leaning into the path, breathe into those areas while meditating. Imagine a color like green light combined with breath to travel to your heart or where the body aches for healing. And that's a wonderful, wonderful suggestion. Green light is powerfully healing. And I suggest also asking, you know, is there something I need to know? Is there something that you're trying to communicate to me? What's a deeper message? You know, and the thing is that oftentimes our actions and our questions are motivated to try and get rid of the pain rather than to learn from it. And if we can transform our eagerness to eliminate it to more of a curiosity, again, here we are with curiosity, to explore it, we might have better results. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you again and again for engaging yet one more time in these morning musings, these conversations. I so appreciate you. And I want to just let you know how much of a difference it makes for me to be able to have these conversations and connect with you all. It's just such a gift that you give me. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm Mira Rubin. This is the Core Connection, and I go live here on the Enlightened World Network Facebook page each weekday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. And I invite you to check out the other awesome programming on the Enlightened World Network Facebook page, Enlightened World Living, EWN, One with the Earth. And thank you, Lisa. I love this time with you as well. So until next time, let's lean in, not just to the pain, but to the joy and the love and the celebration. Let's lean into life and